Hello there. Today I want to chat with you about home expenses. So now that we're all working from home, our home expenses might be deductible on our taxes. So I am going to talk about individuals first, and then we'll talk about small business owners. So individuals who are employed by another company, so you get a T4 from another company. If you normally went into work, then deducting your home expenses would not have been something that you thought about, probably. But now that you're working from home, on your 2020 taxes, so next year when you go to do your taxes, you may be able to deduct a small piece of your home expenses. So you want to ask for a T2200, so T2200, from your employer next year at tax season, and that allows you to deduct your home expenses. It will list the specific expenses that you're able to deduct. So home expenses are, so this is for businesses too. Home expenses are your utilities, so heat, hydro, water, sewer, all that stuff, your utilities. If you own your home, then it's mortgage interest and property taxes. But if you're renting, then rent instead of those two. And maintenance, repairs and maintenance. So if you had to put in like a new, I don't know, hot water heater or something, then a little piece of that you'd be able to write off. And insurance is the last one. So if you own a home, then it'll be home insurance, but if you rent, it'll be tenant's insurance that you can write off on your taxes. Internet is another one that you will probably be able to write off because you need internet to be able to work. So ask your employer for that form next year. Make a note, ask them for it next year, and whoever does your taxes for you, or if you do your own taxes, then you can fill out the T777. That's the form on your personal taxes that you have to fill out, and you can deduct expenses on your T4 income, which is great, less taxes. It's kind of similar for a small business owner. So if you're a sole proprietor, then there's a form on your taxes called the T2125, 2125, and that's where your income and expenses for your business go on your personal taxes. And there's a portion at the bottom, a little section at the bottom of that for home expenses. So you can deduct the same types of expenses, the utilities, repairs and maintenance, insurance, just listed these, rent, or property taxes and mortgage insurance, interest. You can deduct those on your taxes, and it could be that you have a bigger percentage that you can deduct this year because you're at home longer. So how that works is you take the square footage of the office and divide it into the square footage of the whole house, and then you get the percentage that your office is of the whole house. So if that office was used for something else as well, then you have to reduce your percentage a little bit. But this year, because we're all working from home and we can't leave, that percentage will likely be higher because you are having to work at home all the time. So that is excellent news in terms of tax deductions. If your business is incorporated, you can still deduct your home expenses, but it's a little bit different in that you need to get those expenses into the corporation. So I normally recommend that you pay those expenses personally. Actually, I always recommend that you pay those expenses personally, and then you bill the corporation for them. So if your use of home percentage is like 10%, then you'd add up all your utilities, for example, for the year, and say to the corporation, okay, I'm charging you this 10% of what I paid because I required the use of my home in order to do the corporation's work. And so you can get that money, you can move that cash from the corporation to yourself tax-free because it's a reimbursement of expenses. It's not income for you as an individual. If you have a corporation and you have home expenses, I recommend chatting with an expert, even if it's just to get you set up as to how to do all that, because making sure that the corporation is very separate from you as an individual is really important, because you can end up with unintended tax consequences if you're not super separate. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Save all of your receipts for the home expenses that you can deduct this year, and you're probably able to use them on your taxes next year. So real quick, again, that's utilities, so like hydro or electricity for those not in Ontario, heat, and water, sewer, that kind of thing. If you own your home, that's property taxes and mortgage interest. Only the mortgage interest piece is deductible. The full payment to the mortgage is not, just the interest piece. Usually your mortgage statement will show you the amount you paid in principal and the amount you paid in interest. So at the end of the year, you can actually get that number for your bank, which is great. You don't have to try and calculate it yourself. Property taxes, mortgage interest. If you're renting, then your rent, insurance, maintenance, as long as the maintenance is relevant. If you like put in a new floor in your bedroom, not really relevant, so not deductible. But if it impacts you, your work in your home or your office, then definitely deductible. If you have any questions about this, leave them for me in the comments and I will definitely answer them for you. Yeah, that's all I have for you on that. I hope you're doing well, staying safe and sane as much as possible. I know it's getting warmer, at least here, and I would really like to go outside. But I'll just have to wait. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Leave those questions for me in the comments.